Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords podcast. I'm Lee, the Arcanite Admiral, and joining me today is my tame Celestant Prime with suspiciously short legs.
Hi everyone.
And I should actually say Max. Actually say his actual name.
Max. Or maybe it isn't. The name changes often. So
today we're going to look at some KO lists at the GTC. But before we do, let's talk about some news.
Mm-hmm. Big news.
There's big, tall news. I think before we talk about the elephant or behemoth in the room, we'll just talk about Forbidden Power very quickly, because it's just come to my attention that the FAQ a few weeks ago that basically the one that basically listed all the books that were legal, which made a lot of battalions and stuff from White Dwarf and that work. It also listed Forbidden Power, which basically means you can still use the mercenary rules for FEC and Fire Slayers, which is a thing.
But not the other ones that were in the General's Handbook.
No, because it doesn't. It basically it lists the publications. It doesn't list General's Handbook 2019.
No dwarf cannons then.
No.
The Blackwater battery.
Yep.
Oh,
so I don't think it makes a massive difference to list building for us, but
for us not, because we can ally Fire Slayer anyway. And the Greyfeared Lodge thing they bring isn't that good, actually, in my opinion. Maybe there's some cheeky stuff you can do with the Flesh Eaters.
Yeah, with some
casting their endless spell, an extra endless spell they can cast, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you could take a triple endless spell list, maybe, but I don't think it's necessarily that good.
No,
you can invest a lot of points in it. Or you could maybe do some summoning.
Yes. Yes, you could do what they're called, the bats that scream.
The ones that do it on bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever those ones are
called. those things. No, I don't know. I played against them, but who knows what they're called. Yeah, because you just need an Archregent, I think, to summon those.
Yeah. But the key is that they can come in 9 inches away, but have a 10-inch shot, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
they can be good against something you already shot at.
Yeah. But we we can drop in places and shoot things anyway. So.
Yeah. If you have the models, if you want to combine them, cool. But not something I would play a list around, because we don't have much bravery debuff that you can actually capitalize on that.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something we could do if you did summon a load of ghouls and then use the chemist and spell in the bottle to summon the chalice. I don't know.
And then heal the ghouls. Is that worth it? I don't know.
Timo in the chat says they're called flayers. So yeah. I think Timo's is one of the lists we're going to look at. So we'll have to be nice about that one because he's paying attention.
Okay. Let's see what he's done.
Or
if we got the list correct.
Yeah. I didn't get it wrong again. So let's move on to Sons of Behemat.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared?
No.
No, fair enough. I don't think
we can take them.
Yeah. They've got some interesting rules.
Yes.
So they've got things like they can basically fly but not fly.
Mm-hmm.
The exact wording is they can move over enemy models with a wounds characteristic less than 10. They can ignore them. And terrain.
Yes, but they still need to stay outside of 3 inches after they moved. So basically, it's a 6-inch plus the enemy model's size plus their own 130mm base.
Yeah.
Which makes it quite difficult to actually leap over a single 25mm unit, I think. What's their movement at full health? 12-inch? 14-inch?
The fastest Mega Garden, because I think there's different speeds on different ones.
Yeah.
The fastest one's 11.
11. So already 6 plus the base, which is 5.5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're already there at 11.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't actually, you cannot cross anything straight. Maybe above an edge, but not straight across.
Yeah. Maybe it will help speed them up when they could be clipping something.
If they run, then
yeah. Someone in the chat has just put KLN. I don't know what that means.
We don't know. It's a secret code.
Secret code. But they can't. The key thing is that they, as from my interpretation, is they can't move over endless spells.
No, because endless spells don't have a wound characteristics, do they?
Yeah. No,
it's a thing that maybe needs an FAQ, because if they cannot, then shackle them all days and they're just stuck.
Yeah.
If they don't have then a Kraken Eater with the wizard artifact that can dispel.
Well, that's the other thing. That says that they can cast an unbind. Right. So they have the Kraken Eater has an artifact power that that's like a glowing thing.
It's like his earring, the lantern thingy. Yep.
So it basically says he can cast or unbind endless spells. Not endless spells as if he's a wizard.
But he cannot dispel.
No. And there's been some chat about it as well, because he doesn't actually gain the wizard keyword. He can just cast and unbind as if he's a wizard, the same as like a navigator can unbind as if he's a wizard.
The same that a hero next to a nullification terrain can unbind. Yeah.
So, but he can also cast, but he's not a wizard, so he won't be able to cast endless spells.
Yeah.
Because that's linked to the keyword in the GHB and malign sorcery. So
he does not gain the keyword. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not like the Luminef sergeant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't. Going into that in more detail, I don't think it's worth that artifact. If you can just unbind and cast one spell, and the spells you can cast are Mystic Shield and Arcane Bolt. So yeah, Mystic Shield. Okay, I think they all, or two of them already have a trait that gives them rerolling ones. Yeah. So I don't know if I would waste my artifact on that. Yeah. They have better ones.
They have ways to. I think they have a way to get just rerolling saves.
Only the War Stomper. The War Stomper can get it from his artifact, which is his like gauntlet.
Oh, is that the one that lets
reroll
you get
all saves? No, the Triumph is the one if the Kraken Eater kills any hero with an artifact, which is already hard to do. Like hunt down that one hero or the two heroes and actually kill them and get the artifact. And then on a 4+ he gets a Triumph. I don't think it's guaranteed. Or he can roll for a Triumph. So it's a lot of stuff you need to do to then hopefully get the correct Triumph that you want. Reroll saves.
Oh, they still have to roll for the Triumph as well?
I think so, yes.
As opposed to just choose one. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind then.
So I think the better ones, the better traits are to get the 40 wounds instead of 35, which is a 40 wound monster, or the reroll 1 save.
Yeah.
But they only have a 4+ save and no damage prevention rolls, no after save. So as an ally, where they don't bring the count as 20 or count as 30 models, I don't know if they're that interesting to KO.
Yeah.
Because if they would have that, count as 20, yeah, great, fantastic. Bring it on. Set him on the center objective. The kicking the objective is interesting. It's an interesting mechanic. There's a trait, I think, that he can, it's called like strong right foot, that he can actually kick it 3d6 instead of 2d6, from what I've seen. But he needs to have captured it before, so it's something that you already own, as you suggested in the chat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go second, you already have you already own the objective that you stood on starting the game, and then you can kick it forward and move with the objective. So you don't need to leave someone behind to guard it, because leaving quarter of your army behind to guard an objective is not a very sensible thing to do.
Yeah, well, I think that's how they're gonna have. Well, at least if they're taking the Kraken Gargants, because it's only him that can do it. They're going to be trying to kick their objectives forwards so that they can push forwards. Because
get them all close together and then just bunker around it.
They can leave a man crusher back sitting on an objective, but
still,
it's still 180 points sitting on an objective. And they're not going to have a huge number of units because most of them are expensive.
Yeah. So. I think they're interesting. It's an interesting mechanic. People need to write the lists in a way that they can actually deal with one or two of them, like damage output wise. But again, it's 35 wounds. It's like a 6-man unit of Gold Grunters. There are 36 wounds or 44, something around that.
35 wounds isn't necessarily easy to chew through, I don't think. I mean, I've seen people talking about you just take out 1 Mega Gargant per turn, and that's it, as if you can easily take out a Mega Gargant per turn. And I think
depends on the list or on the faction. I mean, Fire Slayers, yes, they can. KO can.
Yeah.
Because we have Rend, and they're not unrendable, so yeah.
Yeah, the Rend will really help. But I mean, it depends on your KO list, because if you're playing something with 20 Thunderers, then you will do it easily. But if you're if you've got like lots of small units, then I don't know, you might struggle a bit more. I mean, an Ironclad averages like 10 damage in shooting
against 4+. Something around that. Then depends if you spend command points or gold.
Or you use your triumphs and stuff, but you've only got so many. You can't do it like you could do it once to take out 1 Mega Gargant, but you can't do it multiple times. There's a lot of people putting flare pistol in lists, which gives you lots of damage output 1 turn. But not, for the next turn or the third turn. I don't know. I mean, I think. Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, pardon me.
I think it's going to depend a lot on the battle plan. So if they can group their Gargants together,
and the objectives.
So if the objectives are close together, or they can kick the objectives close together.
Yeah, and then they count as 30 because they're playing the Kraken Eater sub-faction. And the small ones count as 15, and then it's a tough game.
Yeah.
And they count as Behemoth and Hero. So they in some battle plans they get extra points.
Yeah.
The small ones are Monster and are they Monster? I think they are Monster. The small ones, Monster and Battle Line. So they still count for extra points. So yeah, I think there's some gas in them if people figure out how to play them. And it will take some time. People figure out how to play against them.
Yeah, I think from KO's perspective, if you can sort of position yourself so you can try and kill one, and then you won't just get countercharged by a second one, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But if they can group together in such a way that the only place you can drop down, you're going to have 2 Gargants in your face next turn if you don't get a double turn, then that's when you're going to struggle. But stuff like Better Part of Valor and Scorched Earth, where there's lots of objectives and they're spread out, or Total Conquest, where there's 1 in each corner, and but focal points, where they're all in the middle, and then they can kick them all to the centers. I think or places of arcane power where we don't have very strong heroes.
And they are all the big ones are heroes. They just sit 1 on each, and I mean that one's the worst for KO anyway. So let's forget about that one. This big dislike, but I figure always KO against Gargants must be like the King Kong on the Empire State Building and all the little planes circling around it and shooting at it. That's what I imagine.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. There is I haven't actually double checked it, but I'm fairly sure in Barrack 3 we could mercenary in a Gargant and go trek.
Yes, we just lose the first command point for taking a mercenary. We can take Gotrek because he's not an ally actually, because he's a Duardin. We can take him, and then we just need to figure out we need 2 more units actually only.
Yeah,
because the mercenary counts towards allies points. So we have 1 ally, we have 1 Duardin, and then we need 2 more. Yeah, 2 more KO units for 1,000 points.
Yeah, and Gotrek can't beat your general, so you need a hero.
Yeah, you need a hero and free battle line. But it's doable. Is it good? I don't know. Is it fun? Definitely. The big guy and the small guy.
I think it's funny. It's like you've got the biggest guy and the really powerful small guy and the really powerful big guy in the same list.
Yeah, but the small one we won't keep up.
Yeah,
you need to run him on every turn. But yeah, it's
but they
doable.
They can instead of they can kick the objective to Gotrek.
Actually, yeah, you kick it over to him.
It's a shame they just can't kick Gotrek. They could kick Gotrek forwards.
Throw him.
They can throw enemy models. So
actually, yeah, you can.
That's quite.
They have actually the Kraken Eater has a nice shooting attack, which is basically free ironclad torpedoes from their profile, 24 inches. So yeah, not massive damage, but some damage.
They do have a fair bit of range, because what is the range? Because they can give the Man Crushers a shooting attack, can't they? Or it's part
of a command point. I think they're wholly within 18. I think.
Oh no, I meant the range of the shooting attack.
I couldn't tell. I think it was not too far, like 18 inches maybe. Yeah,
but they're 8-inch movement, so.
But it's good, but it's not something I will be able to list around. Like 6.
But I mean,
if they're not in combat, yeah, okay, let them throw rocks. But
I think it's just a case of don't just assume that if you're far away from them, they're doing nothing.
Yeah,
they're not going to do huge amounts.
No,
but they can do something.
But they have the impact hits, like ogres have, so they can crush for your screen, then continue to pile in. Yeah. They have enough reach to actually smash you. So yeah, be interesting.
Yeah, and they've got ways that a couple of things like that we mentioned about throwing models where they can just pick a model. So they will mess with unit consistency.
Yeah, I think they can actually pick more than one, can't they?
Yeah, I think it's D3.
D3. Stick D3 into their net. And the Kraken.
Yeah, there's more than when they can do it, because they pick a model also when they throw the enemy model. So
yeah, they can. Yeah, they can mess with your coherency. And actually, that's where the Kraken Tier's mercenary ability comes in handy, where you can say, "Oh, I'll just go second and let you fight first, and then I disrupt your coherency, and you cannot pile in to fix it."
Yeah, that's a good pick.
But he's not good in combat. Actually, he's the worst of all the three. What I love is the other one, the Gatecrasher that can destroy terrain, especially faction terrain.
Yeah, pyramids.
Ooh, that obelisk in the middle.
Yeah.
Just smash it. Pyramid, smash it. All the ships that block your way, smash them. Cool. Nice mechanics. We'll see. They will probably need an FAQ because there's some skewed stuff that people can do, or it's not clear about moving objectives and how they are pointed and other stuff. But
the other thing is
that's cool.
That I don't think we've seen yet. I haven't watched detailed videos reviewing it where whether has Man read book yet?
Man has read book, but Max has not listened to Man read book.
No, me neither. I watched a different video, but they summarized book rather than read book.
Okay. I haven't watched anything. I've just watched the unboxing of the Gargant sprues because that was like a 10-minute video.
In this video, I was
look good.
zooming in on these pictures, like the screenshots of blurry pictures, and I was like trying to read things.
I've got those pictures. I have them, but they were blurry. I tried to read them, but it was okay.
Because the interesting thing is, like, if they get onto an objective, they will take it because there'll be like 35 models or whatever. It depends on their allegiance.
Yeah, at least 20. And if they stick a 130 millimeter base on the center of an objective, I'm not sure if the remaining 6-inch radius is enough to actually stick 21 models onto it.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Maybe small ones, 21.
Oh no, because you can get 20 models within 6 inches, just like by having them
on the outer rim.
No, because that was going to be my point. Was the easiest way to stop them taking your objective is so they can't get within 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
But then they do their impact, so you almost want to string out your models.
You need to circle the whole thing. Yeah.
But then if you do that, then you'll take impact charges.
Yeah.
And then because they can mess with your unit consistency as well, you don't want to be
strung out. You take out from the back, saying, "Oh, you can still get on," and then they take one off in the middle, and then you lose half of your string. Yeah. Interesting. Plus, they can just move over them in the next turn. Just
boop. But it stops. In theory, it stops them for a turn, but then you sacrifice half a unit.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Arcanauts are for. So.
Yeah, if it's a 90-point Arcanaut unit, it doesn't really matter. You don't expect them to last for several turns.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's them. I think we've covered most of their interesting things.
Are you going to get one?
No, because they're expensive. And I think I would want to do conversions and stuff, and it will just end up... Like, the base model's expensive anyway.
It is.
And then, I don't know, unless I could come up with like a really fun list that I would want to play, then I don't know, maybe. But then I would want to convert it. I don't know, give them some Endrins or like a boat or something.
Yeah, like a boat under the arm, little gun holder they carry around.
Or just like
or the Endrin, like the balloon on a string. Yeah.
Although
there's a good article from Plastic Crack, I think, from Australia, and he listed a lot of third-party Gargants which are available, and there's some cool ones. There's some pretty ones in there, and they're third of the price, even less.
Yeah. So I know some of my mates have been buying some third-party ones.
There's also some big dwarf giants. So
okay.
I think from Reaper Miniatures, I think. I've just looked through all the images to see, and there's a cool. As you could take those as the man-eaters, like free man-eaters. Be cool, like big dwarfs with axes.
Yeah, I'd want it to be like a steampunk giant somehow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've not seen one of those. Then you need some conversions,
or at least not necessarily completely steampunk, but like it doesn't have to be like a big robot, but it could just have KO stuff as like his helmet, or like a balloon helmet. Cool, or I don't know, like the
you could do that, like an Endrin rigger Endrin, just cut it open like a helmet.
Yeah, well, they come in half anyway. So.
True.
Cool. I don't know. I'm sure some people will do it because I just think about these things and never do them.
Yeah, it's a project. Yeah, sure.
Let's have a look then. So, before we do, tell us a bit about the tournament because you're going.
Yes, well, I'm hoping to go. Of course, with the current situation, it's a lot of uncertainties, but I'm happy to go, and I'm hoping to go. And I can tell that the organizers, they're doing everything in their power, and they're doing a great job to assure everyone, to help them out, to check if their hotels, what are the current regulations in Germany. It's a bit chaotic because this week all our regions, they said they came to a conclusion: if an area has more than 50 corona cases within the last 7 days per 100,000 inhabitants, then they are labeled as a risk area, and then all the little towns, they have different rules if these people can actually stay in a hotel or not, or are allowed to enter or not. And there's differences in all the regions because everyone does it differently. Because all the governments are decentralized and everyone comes up with their own ideas. And as today, the region that this tournament is taking place in the city of Hereford in North Rhine-Westphalia, they have not yet decided how they want to handle this, or they have not yet put in a regulation saying yes, no one can come, or so on. So for now, everything's good. The suggestion is to check with your hotel if they have any info, if you're actually allowed to stay at the hotel or not.
Yeah.
Probably they have no idea because information is scarce and people tell different things every day. I know that parts of Berlin, or all of Berlin, and some major cities in the north and Cologne, they're now labeled as a risk region. I don't know if that number will go down until next Friday when people will start to travel. Who knows? For now, Munich is not a risk region. Hopefully people behave or don't go and get tested, so the number stays low. And then, yeah, we'll see. But we had some dropouts, especially from the international guests, because they can only enter Germany if they have a 48-hour negative corona test, and those are quite hard to get in time within the 48 hours, unless you spend an egregious amount of money and go to like a private lab. Plus, we have some the autumn holidays coming up in Germany, so all people are going to get tested because they want to travel to other countries or other parts, although they don't have any symptoms. So they are taking up capacities for testing. And it's a bit a weird situation. I don't know how they actually do it to organize this and keep this going. It's a great job. I remember our small one-dayer with 20 people. It was already a chaos to organize that in August with regulations. And this is a 100 people sports event. Actually, it's labeled as a sports event.
Yeah.
So it's official. Tabletop is a sport. Get your sweatbands out, your drinks out, your water bottles, and your sweatbands, and your gym shoes.
Yeah. Does that make us sports correspondents?
Probably, definitely, yes.
Sports commentators.
Sports commentators, like in the US, yeah. And I'm excited. It's my first 2-dayer. It's my 1, 2, 3, 4th or 5th tournament overall. I only started going to tournaments January this year. So yeah, I'll be excited to see what happens after round 3. where the magic happens, apparently. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of KO lists. We're the most represented faction at the tournament. There were 10, now it's down to 9 because of a dropout by Paul from our last show, who cannot travel from Belgium, or who has some difficulties to travel. There's some difficulties, I think, also for Danish people. There were a few actually trying to come. So it's getting more and more of a German tournament. We still have some Swiss people, I believe, that are coming.
Yeah.
And a few from places all over. But exciting to meet people and play games.
Well, I think there must have been some other dropouts, because you said it was a 100-player tournament, and I think when I looked at the list the other day, there was 102, and I think there's only 88 now.
Yes. So in the beginning, it was scheduled, I think, 150 plus.
Yeah.
Then they said, okay, we need to cap this at 100. Get your ticket now, like pay up. And there was a rush, and I was among one of the last to actually get my place, and I was super happy. Then people dropped out. And there were always like, there's one place available. There's 2 places available. And another friend of mine here from the Munich team, he actually got one. He was super excited to get a place. And now I think there's another 10 places available because more and more people are dropping out because of traveling and Corona. But still, I think it's a great thing. A lot of people will be fun.
The thing is, unless you're local, it's not going to be very easy to organise going last minute, because you might need to get a test or try and find a hotel that will let you stay there. Yeah, so all those problems that you mentioned earlier are even worse if you're trying to do it last minute.
Yes, good test. So they're trying to get, I think, local people. Maybe there's a friend of a friend. Yeah, like who wasn't certain to go compete at such a tournament. Just come. It's fun. Who cares? Just roll some dice, play 5 games with cool people.
Yeah,
see their awesome armies.
5 games in a row, and have a whole weekend playing games, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. It's not. Plus, there's an open bar. They said they're socializing in the evening. I don't know how they're gonna handle that with distancing, but still. It will be fun. Food is included. There's breakfast. Everything's provided. There's goodies. There's dice I've heard about. There's special goodies. I know there's great trophies painted by Peter from the Netherlands, who was also on the show last time. I don't know what they look like. I've been told that they've been shipped by DHL. Yeah. Hopefully they arrive in time and safe. But I'm sure they'll be great. And it will be an awesome event, I'm sure.
Cool. From a gaming perspective, is there anything unusual about the pack?
Unusual, yes. Unusual is that they actually have the terrain already explained. They have 10 maps in the pack. So there's 10 different versions of a table where they explain where the terrain goes, what it looks like. So there's a hill, there's a hedge, there's a pyramid, where it's supposed to be placed, and what terrain features it has. And each round then has a different realm that you're from, and they use all the realm rules. So the spell, the feature, and the artifact, of course, if you chose it beforehand. So yeah, that's a bit okay. Another rule I will forget, but yeah, interesting. So they have everything already explained. They have what's especially interesting for KO. They have if a terrain is denominated as a hill, even if it's not as tall as 2 inches, they will say it is, I think, 2 inches or higher, and it blocks line of sight. Also even for flying units.
Even for flying units.
Even for flying. So if there's a hill on your side and you can hide your hero behind it, you're safe from shooting from the front at least.
Oh.
So that's interesting. I think maybe they've done that because there's a lot of shooting meta going on. But yeah.
KO players off, did it?
So yeah, there's need to pay attention as a KO player. Probably choose your side if you get to choose. So that's special in a pack. And the triumphs are a bit different. I tailored my list around the low point, so I can get a triumph hopefully every turn. And then I read the pack, and it says you only get a triumph if you didn't win the prior turn. So hopefully I'll only get it in the first turn. Maybe I get a second time if I lose a game. So that's a bit of a
turn. You mean game?
Yes, round. Yeah. So tournament round.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you get it in the first one, and then only if you lost the prior game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So kind of get going with the core rules rather than the pitch battles, but using the pitch battles for the first game. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the battle plans, or are they?
Yes, I know them. Let's see if I remember. We have Total Conquest.
Okay.
Battle for the Pass, Focal Points, and then I don't know which order, the Blade's Edge and Forcing the Hand, the 2 new ones.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the order of these, but those are the 5 ones, which are okay for KO. Nothing egregious as Places of Arcane Power. So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, no,
I like them.
Nothing like Scorched Earth or Better Part of Valor as well.
No Star Strike, nothing of that randomness. So it's just, I mean, Focal Points is always classic. Battle for the Past, the same. I like the mechanics, quite simple. Mm-hmm. Total Conquest, yeah, interesting because you need to spread out. There's 4 objectives. You need to get one of the enemies to getting 3 points. I don't know. Conquest is the one with heroes score extra.
Yeah.
With the little quarter. Yeah, I was confusing it with total commitment.
Yeah.
Very similar name.
Yeah,
Blaze Edge, and then Forcing the Hand.
yeah.
Blade's Edge is a bit of a weird one because then you get less and less objectives. Not the one where you take away.
Yeah. Well, there's a funny thing you can do with Sons of Behemat. If they win the roll off in Blade's Edge, then they're like, "Oh yes, I won. I'll take the turn," and they're like, "Right now, I'm going to kick that objective." You're like, "Oh no, you won't. You'll remove it."
Well, you have to remove it before they want to kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those that one's a weird one because actually, if you manage to score 6 points in the first turn, and then maybe another 4, it's very hard to catch up for your opponent.
Yeah,
it's a weird one where you actually might want to go first.
Well, the other thing is you don't have to remove the objectives.
No, you don't.
So if you're behind, just don't remove them because you're.
Unless they score.
But if you know you can take their objectives, then because then it depends on where units are and stuff. But if you're, I don't know, but you don't necessarily have to. So it's gonna limit your chances to because if you take an objective that they've got models on, then they've got no incentive to stay there. So then they will push those models off somewhere, either to help defend another objective or to try and take one from you. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, the new one. Yeah. But yeah, I like the selection. It's good battle plans.
So I guess that's given us, a good foundation to look at the lists on, so we know what the lists are going to be playing, what sort of situations they're going to be playing in. So let's have a look. So I put because there's basically, I can't remember, I haven't counted exactly how many KO lists there were. But
there should be 9.
Okay, so there's 2 Mornar and the rest is Ilfin. So I put the 2 Mornar ones first.
Sure.
So this first one, player called Kharadron Overlords, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know. He's got, what's he got? He got Endrin Master with Druid Pursuit, who's his general. He has, because he's Monar, he has Opportunistic Privateer, which he can't use because he never will get garrisoned in the boat because he can't. And then he has Frostwrite Bomblets, a Navigator with the Galeforce Staff.
Yes.
2 units of 10 Arcanauts that only have light skyhooks. He hasn't put the rest of the special weapons on. 9 Endrin Riggers and 12 Sky Wardens, which he's not listed any special weapons, so I'm assuming they're all standard. 10 Thunderers, again, nothing listed, so I'm assuming they're rifles. 2 Frigates, both with heavy sky cannons, one with Malefic Sky Mines, one with Prudency Shoots. Iron Sky Attack Squadron, and an extra command point. Which is interesting.
It's an interesting list, yeah.
I think I would prefer to have a Triumph. Oh no, but then you said it's the pack.
It gives you 1 Triumph in 5 games, probably.
Yeah, if it was standard rules, then
yeah. Then probably the Triumph buys you more than command point. Especially in this list, because he has the Endrin Riggers, so you can use the Endrin Master's command ability to do more repairs on the frigates, but they're too many to hitch, so they're always lagging behind.
I think he has the command point for running 6 because you can run and shoot.
Yes, probably.
So with the Endrin Riggers, or potentially the Sky Wardens, depending on the battle plan, you can run 6, which means that we're moving.
Well, he can run the frigate, so he has the Arcanauts inside the frigate. He will run the frigate, then they can deploy because of the Iron Sky Attack Squadron, and they can shoot. Plus, the frigate can still shoot because it ran.
Yeah. It depends on the battle plan and where you deploy, because the difference between how much you run. I mean, the essential thing is you use it after you roll. So if you roll well, then it don't need to use that at all anyway.
Yeah,
But if you can get your Endrin riggers into shooting range turn 1, even though they're a big unit, and the same with the Sky Wardens potentially.
Yeah, I think the Sky Wardens are his unit that he will try to make fight first once per game.
Yes.
But I'm not sure about 9 Endrin riggers. Okay, so he wanted the Endrin riggers to repair. 9 are too little for gold, too many to hitch. No special weapons, so they actually need to get within 12. I don't know. It's weird. He probably couldn't fit another 3 in and didn't know what to do with 150 points. So
if you're well, yeah, I mean, you could have had something like a gun hauler maybe, but if you're 24 inches away, 12-inch move, just roll 1 on your run is enough to get Endrin riggers pistols in range of a screen at least.
So it's interesting because only 10 Arcanauts can go in one frigate because the other one's filled with Thunderers. And I don't know where the Navigator is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like ideally, you want him inside a boat. So then when someone tries to charge a boat, you say, no, don't. Sit.
Yeah.
But he can't fit because he only can fit 10 people. Or he can, unless he overloads it.
Oh, unless the command point is so he can run the Navigator. So you run your riggers and Sky Warden, so they all run forwards and shoot, and the Navigator runs
still,
forward,
if they run and shoot,
so
that's 10, that's 19-inch threat range. What's he gonna hit? The 2 Skyhooks.
The Endrin riggers and the Sky Wardens with their pistols and just get lots of pistol shots. Because they're 12-inch move plus run, so at least 13. Sky Warden's got 9-inch pistols, so then that's 22 on a roll of 1 for your run. It's it's an 18-inch battle plan or something. But then the Navigator can protect the riggers and Sky Wardens from charging, in theory.
No, he won't keep up. Because the enemy needs to be within 12 for him to use it. And he's already, 8 inches behind them.
Yeah, he's got to, even if he runs. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one.
It would be interesting to know how he plays it because, there is a problem with you want the Arcanauts in the ships because of
to use the
attack squad ability.
Yeah.
You can't move your Thunderers around.
No. Unless you leave Thunderers on an objective to sit there. And the Navigator behind them, so if they don't get charged, and if they do, they will get a shot extra. I don't know. That's 220 points just sitting there with 18-inch threat range. 22 if they move, but not sure. Let's see how it plays and how it ends up. Maybe we're missing something obvious here.
Possibly. Let's look at the next one. So the next one is awesome. Both of them more or less exactly 2,000 points as well. Which doesn't really matter much, with the rules that they're using for triumphs. So Henry Dickon has got Endrin Master of Dirigible Suit, who's the general. Again, he has the opportunistic privateer command trait, which he can't use. Then he has 2 navigators, one with the Gale Force Stave, one with the flare pistol.
Yes.
2 units of 20 Arcanauts, 10 Arcanauts, 6 Endrin riggers, a gun hauler, 10 Thunderers, an Ironclad, an Iron Sky Command Battalion, and the Ironclad has a cannon and the last.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. Yeah, this makes more sense to me. Maybe the other one made sense, but I didn't understand it. So this is obviously the 220 Arcanauts will run forward and shoot. The navigators will stick in the Ironclad with the Endrin Master and the 6 Irrigers and 10 Thunderers, so he can move them forward and they can stay within range to then get the flare pistol off. And do have 2 units that fly half moved and 1 then half charged.
Yeah, and it's very similar to Sean Tubman's list.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of bodies here.
So he's got similar things. Like he's got the 50 Arkanauts, heroes and things. He's dropped the amount of Ender Riggers so that he can move them around with the ship. So
they're just a screen, I think, for the Ironclad because they're full melee.
Yeah.
Full melee. So if you charge into them with half charge, or you get the counter charge from 6 Ender Riggers, so that's 7 attacks with the swords. Or
I was pointing out the fact that he's dropped them down to 6 so that they can move around with a fly high, compared to Sean's list that had 9.
Yeah. Plus he has the last word, so if you actually manage to charge the Ironclad, you'll get shot with the Sky Cannon. And the gunholder is just there to probably go on a mission and kamikaze some hero with the Depth Zebra Spar torpedo and the once per game extra 6-inch move.
Well, it would be interesting to know if he has looked at Sean's list and sort of based it off that and tweaked it to suit his play style more, and whether he's some of the things that Sean did, like just putting the gun hauler in the corner just to mess with people.
Yeah, definitely.
If they don't deal with it, then next turn it's going to be putting D6 mortal wounds onto a hero or something, isn't it? So
plus D3 from the bombs on a 4+. Yeah. It could kill a hero. Yeah.
And it's can sit
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. I think out of the 2 Mornar ones, I like this one a little bit more. The other one is probably more intriguing.
The Sky Wardens will do damage, but I think this is more consistent. Like there's a pattern. There's tools here, so you have tools to not get charged. If you get charged, they'll pay for it. Getting counter charged by Ender Riggers, getting shot at. And the first turn, if you run and shoot with all those Arkanauts and then you actually get one unit with the flare pistol, they all reroll their hits. That's damage there. Yeah.
50 Arkanauts. Like if the opponent goes first and comes into threat range of Arkanauts, and then you run them forwards, and then they all re-roll failed hits against something, they can do
damage. There's no rend on the pistol shot, sadly, but they can do work.
Yeah, but with 50 Arkanauts, that's a lot of pistols. It's just going to be way of numbers.
What is it? 15 pistols per 10. If they have the volley pistol on the chief. So it's 7, 14, 28, 29 shots per 20. So let's say 30, 60, 75, 74 shots.
And then you've
pistol
also
shots.
got 30 volley gun shots. And 5 light skyhook shots. Potentially all +1 to hit if they're on an objective.
Yep. Yeah.
B-roll all failed hits. Yeah. Might catch some people out, I think that.
Can do damage,
I just realised actually, obviously because you're going, that hopefully you'll play Carsten. And you'll play how his list plays.
Well, I'm lower drop, so I can make him go first.
That might be exactly what he wants. You never know.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to talk us through your list?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to explain all the secret tech in the list? I'm not sure I want to do this before the tournament. It's basically a classic Barrack Zilfin. With an Iron Sky command for low drops. It's a free drop, so we have the free heroes, the Ender Master with dirigible suit, with the command train Master Commander. That's wrong. He has the Grudge Bearer command trait. Yes, I'm pretty certain. I think there's a copy paste mistake here.
In fact, actually, I remember thinking, oh yeah, Max got Grudge Bearer because he likes that.
Yeah.
That probably means that someone else's list it says Grudge Bearer when it's probably meant to say Master Commander.
I don't know. So mine has just to clarify, it has the Grudge Bearer, which does double damage against a hero that you grudged. which makes all the shooting and the melee attacks double damage, which is awesome because he has 2 D3 damage attacks with shooting, which then become potential 6 damage or 2 damage. Depends how you roll. And the 6 shots from the weapon battery, where you put the Staff of Ocular Optimization on, because that's the one you need to take with Zilfin. Just then hits on 2s, wounds and freeze, 1 rend, 2 damage. It's like a little shrapnel cannon.
Yeah.
So the Endure Master, if you choose a small hero, he can reliably kill it. If you choose a big hero, he can actually do some damage to it. Yeah. Then we have the Chemist, because he's a low-cost hero. And we have the Navigator to bring the Flare Pistol, the second artifact. So I didn't go with the Endless spell. I used to run the Warp Lightning Vortex, but placement is a bit fickle. And often I roll 1s and nothing happens. It hampers with the movement, but because the people cannot run, but then there's some units out there that can easily dispel it, even on a 9. So yeah, I've went for more guns. Then we have the 10 Arcanauts, which we need to take. They're screen and mandatory in the battalion. 3 units of engine riggers with drill launchers and the volley gun. The drill launchers actually are great because there's a lot of -2 hit out there. Look out, sir. But on an unmodified hit of 6, they cause 3 mortal wounds. So that's 3 shots. So statistically, that's a couple of mortal wounds over the game, which could be enough to take out the hero. Even if they don't roll a 6 and you only roll a 4 or 5, they have 3 rend. Yeah. So on D3 damage, so it's still a lot of damage they can potentially do. It's 3 little units because battle line, and I can take them, and I want to circle them around my boat as a screen.
Yeah. But you get a bit more flexibility by having.
Yeah, I had 6 and 3, but because I want to use them as a screen, I just went for 3 times 3. Get an extra sword attack because you get an extra what's he called? Engine captain.
Yeah, the leader gets an extra attack.
The leader, and it's easier to place them. Then we have a gun hauler because I like to have 2 boats. Just because that's where the power of the faction comes from, teleporting around. The gun hauler is great. It's 130 points. It doesn't go worse. It can always fly high. Has 10 wounds, rerollable with his gold. He can take some wounds for the Ironclad on a 6, so it's great. And again, with the depth settler Spar Torpedo, he can just fly in and knock out a hero, or take the last wounds off a unit to take it off an objective. And then we have the heart of the list. That's 20 Thunderers with special weapons, 1 of each minimum, so they get the +1 to hit when they're outside of the boat. And then the maximum of sweepers and ether cannons, because they're actually, that's the highest damage loadout that you can make instead of all rifles if they are outside the boat. Then we have an Ironclad, the Sky Cannon, because it's consistent, some flexibility there. And the Buoyancy 8, because we need to load in 20 Thunders and still want to fly high.
Yeah.
The Iron Sky Command is nice, low drops, battle shock immunity, 18 inches around the Ironclad. Mm-hmm. So even if the Thunders then take a beating, they won't run. Yeah, basically that's the list. Centers around the Kron style deploy and destroy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I should explain my trick here, but it's not a trick. It's actually quite simple. You use the Barak Zilfin once per game hero phase move to fly high with the Ironclad 9 inches away. Then in the start of your moving phase, the Thunderers can get out because the boat hasn't moved yet. They can deploy within 6. Outside of 3, so now they're already in your face, 3 inches away. All the special guns only have 12-inch range. You deploy them. The Chemist goes with them to give his -1 to be hit bubble. The 3 inches, if someone charges them, they also have that's why I brought an extra fumigator, because I also have on 2 corners I have the -1 to hit. So if something runs into them, they're less likely to hit it. and then they just blast away at whatever the navigator shot at with his flare pistol.
Yeah.
And that should be enough to kill everything. So I did some math hammer. This list, if I shoot everything into one target that has been flare pistol lit, it's against the 4+ save, it's something around 74 damage. So that's 2 Gargants plus something more. Yeah, Toby back. Great guy, great list. I tested this list again today against Tobias. His Archean was not amused. Did a little magic myself against his Zinch list and made him disappear. So yeah, it's basically that's it. That's the one trick. You pull the flare pistol trigger. Make sure to spend your command point on reroll ones to hit, because it's 2 dice on a 3+. You don't want to miss those. I mean, even if you miss, they're still valid. The artifact's still there because it says when you score the first hit. So if you don't score a hit, then the next time you score a hit, it goes off. But you want to do it when you want to do it. And then you can just shoot everything at them. The Thunders, if there's something tough, like 20 Saurus Guard, protecting Croak within terrain with covers on a 3+, you can spend their gold to reroll wounds. So they reroll hits, they reroll wounds. That's a lot of damage. I think then they do something around 25 to 30 damage, just the Thunderers, and plus then all the ships. The only problem with the Thunderers is once they're deployed, if something's behind woods or behind a hill, they don't ignore the line of sight blocking because they don't fly anymore.
Yeah.
And if they're deployed, they sit there. They're not going anywhere else the rest of the game, unless you keep them within 6, get a double turn, you decide, just everyone get back in the boat. And then move the boat, but then they're inside the boat, they do a little bit less damage because all the special weapons don't get the +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's it. The engine riggers just then swarm out in front of the 2 of them can hero phase move with the Anklet, so they can swarm out in front of the enemy to block. They're just a roadblock basically, and the other 3 just follow up with the gun horror, protect the side, protect the flank, whatever you need. Yeah, and that's the list. It's a hard punch, but then they sit where they go, basically.
I think the battle plans work out quite well for you because there aren't any of those ones that I mentioned earlier where you had to spread out a lot. So
maybe the Total Conquest is a bit tricky.
Yeah. Well, Total Conquest I think you can play with because you score extra points if you have a leader on the objective. So you don't necessarily have to try and take more objectives. You can just have the one in your deployment zone, drop on another one, make sure you have heroes on both, and then you're scoring, and then shoot their heroes. And then actually you, in theory, will edge into the lead.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's a hard punch. I've tried it now twice. Today against a Beastclaw Raider army that did not go well because the screens just explode when they do impact hits, and they have nothing against mortal wounds. So if you run into them with their impact damage, they die. I mean, it's 40 wounds on a 4+ save, -1, sometimes -2 to be hit, but they have nothing against mortal wounds. They just die.
Or shooting,
and then you lose them quick.
The -1 or -2 to hit is against combat.
Yeah, within 3 inches. So yeah.
So, I mean, if you survive one round of combat and then the enemy's trying to shoot you in their next turn, then you get it then. But yeah, it's
but then you already done something wrong. If they still have something to shoot you at, maybe you picked the wrong target. And the nice thing is, if something runs into them and everything goes as planned, maybe 5 die, then the rest they get an extra shot.
The thing is,
when within 3 inches of an enemy.
The weird thing about the Thunderers is you want them in combat, but you just don't want them to die because they get extra shots.
They get an extra shot then. So you run into them, and I enjoyed it having those 20 bodies. because I never played with that many like Arcanauts in a unit. So it's an objective that you probably keep for 1 or 2 turns, and they have a 16 to 22 in threat range around them. The chemist then can give them reroll 1s to wound once he's deployed. So yeah, a little buff instead of reroll every wound. It's okay, and then the ship can go off and hunt something else though.
Potentially turn 2, they're almost more deadly than, well, not more deadly if you use the fire pistol, but they're still pretty deadly turn 2 if they're in combat, and then they're rerolling 1s to wound as well, which they're not in turn 1, and the extra shot, a little bit of buff on the chemist.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's a bit. You need to deploy them properly, because you don't want to be too close to the enemy. Actually, you want to just be as far as you need to be to still be within 12, but not closer, because you don't want to get charged or in combat. So you just want to get more shooting out of them, and then the 2 ships just go elsewhere. And because the 2 ships and the hero, they can still do damage and shoot something else.
The nice thing about the hero combo is it's good for getting auxiliaries, because you can just use it to target an enemy hero and get those auxiliaries.
Yep. Yeah. So the Endrin Master, he can get like the grudged hero or whatever you need to do, or kill their hero so they don't score extra points. With the gunholder, then can charge in. The Endrin rigs, usually they get 1 round of shooting and then they die. But they're just a nuisance. The navigator is mostly the last guy standing in the list if it goes to that, because in the ship he has a 2+ save, and he has his gold that he doesn't use. He's just there to use his flare pistol, and then he's a hero that you keep in the boat and the ironclad to give the ironclad reroll 1s if it's needed. And then the Arcanauts just sit there in a screen if you get dropped lower than you, but this is a free drop, so yeah, 2 drop Singe lists maybe. Deploy in a corner, do your Arcanaut screen around them, or they just sit on a back objective. They usually only run 10 inches and never shoot a shot. They're just there. They're good. Okay. And they have a Sky Pike also on the Arcanauts.
Yeah.
Which you didn't list.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've that's about a copy paste. I think I copy pasted.
Oh dear. But yeah, that's my list. It's not special. It's based on Kron's list that did very well in Australia, but I added a gun holder basically, and points have changed since.
Yeah.
And I prefer to have a free drop actually than a 4 drop.
Yeah, I think the drill launchers with the player postals quite nice as well, because even though they're only screens, you can it's only a 6+, but when you're re-rolling all hits, then and you got 3 of them, you might get those 3 more.
Maybe 1 if you hit everything hits the same, which usually you don't, because once you're half through all the shots, that thing's dead.
Yeah. And
then you go for heroes, because even the nice thing is unmodified hit of 6. So even if they're -2 hit with the Lookout Sir, like the little hero in the back, that Skink, Star Priest, or whatever, pew pew, you'll do 1 or 2 damage from the volley guns, and then maybe 3 or 4 from the drill launches.
You mentioned about potentially, moving the Thunderers around afterwards, if you can.
Yes. So I thought about, and I did some math hammering. How much damage do I lose when I keep them in the boat? First turn I use them. So I reroll all hits, but then all the special weapons only hit on a 4. It could be enough for certain targets. So first round, you don't deploy them. You just stay out of 12 with a fly high. You don't need to use your hero phase fly high. You shoot them, and then in the next round, you move them somewhere else in the hero phase and get them out and shoot something else. So basically, you can get 2 major shooting phases out of them if you do that.
What I was going to say was the difficulty with them is that you'd almost want to just move the ship rather than fly high, depending on where the enemy is. But because only works for fly high, you're going to be at half movement with that many thunderers, which is a shame.
Yeah, no, on fly high is 9 inches. You just need to be within 12 with the tip of the boat.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you keep your navigator actually within 15 of what you want to hit. Because I've done that mistake before. So yeah, and I'm gonna flare pistol. Oh, yeah, not in range. Shit. But that's what this games are for.
Effective outside of the boat. So yeah, if you can keep them outside and be shooting stuff, then it's going to be the best way.
Plus, if you deploy them with the chemist, then you also get something out of the chemist shots.
Yeah.
When rerolling hits with 2 rend is not shabby. It's okay. If you roll well, maybe 12 shots, you can do some damage.
Yeah.
He's okay. But he's just there to die. There's no big use for him unless only the -1 to be hit.
Total conquest, he's going to be scoring you an extra point.
Yeah, leave him with the thunderers, then move the boat with the navigator, and if you're lucky, the gunholder with the engine master to the third one. And you're scoring a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the list. Let's see how it plays out. We'll see.
Let's have a look at another one.
Yeah.
Lots of Zilfin lists.
This is the one.
Yeah.
The special one.
So this one is from a player called Clemens Lang, or Lang. I'm not sure.
Lange. Yeah.
Lange.
Clemens Lange. Yeah.
Okay, there we go then.
Great list.
So he has a navigator as his general, the command trait Skeptic, which gives him +1 to his unbinding and dispelling rolls. Staff of Ocular Optimization, a chemist with spell in a bottle. You can guess what's in there. It's a warp lightning vortex. 5 units of Argonauts, all of which have got 1 of each special weapon. He had so many Argonauts, I had to write that. List them. And 5 frigates. And he's 3 of the frigates have got 1 of each of the different.
Iron Sky Attack Squadron and a gyrocopter.
Yeah,
because you have like 80 points left, I think. Yeah.
Filling points.
Cool.
So
it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 drop. Cool. A lot of frigates. So and all the frigates traits that they are.
Yeah. You can only you can't duplicate them, so he's got to use them because Prudency shoots isn't great, but
not for Arcanauts. Sky Mines can be good against flying. It's a nice cheeky 6-inch D6 mortal wounds, I think, that they don't expect. So if you're 6-inch out,
D3, and if you roll high enough, then it becomes T6.
Okay. Yeah, I've only used it once. It was okay. Take out 1 eel or something. But, okay. And the Omniscope to be faster. Speed. Now, 1 Arcanaut company will be left behind because he needs to get the probably the 2 here, at least the chemist in 1 frigate. And he wants to fly high it.
Yeah, the navigator really need to be in a boat.
Not really. But
most of his abilities like 36-inch range, so
plus the staff on the navigator, like the 2 shots. Okay, now 2s and 3s.
It's just so you can have spread in the ball. So
yeah. The Skeptic trait, I don't know, is +1 enough to unbind? We have 1 unbind with +1 against Siege Croaks. I don't know if there's any Luminous lists. Don't think I've seen one. No, they are. I think. Might be confused. I think there are. So Techless, he's not going to do much. He's +1 to unbinding or also dispelling?
Unbinding and dispelling.
So maybe if he wants to get rid of the vortex once it's done its job.
Yeah, but even then, it's hard roll. I mean, you could get enemy endless spells potentially. It's probably easier than unbinding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's solid choice, but not one I choose. Honestly, I'd rather go on the better chance to do the half move.
Yeah, probably.
What's it called? Stormcaller, or what's it called?
I can't remember what it's called, but there's in fact there's two different ones because one's an artifact and one's a command trait, and one of them is you can re-roll it, and the other one is you get +1. And I can't remember which around they are, but one of them is a command trait, and both they make the half move more likely. There's a few interesting navigator, but I don't think there's many he can make a huge amount of use of because like there's Diviner, which I think is quite interesting, but that he's not going to make much use of that with only units of 10 Arcanauts, and another one is making a ship move faster, but he has to be on the ship, which again doesn't really work with the.
Not sure. Is there better command traits for the chemist? He can give the reroll once to wound to 2 units. So once he's done his spell, drop him out, and then he gets 2 Arcanauts. Get 10 Arcanauts. What they're gonna do? But it's cool. A lot of boats, but once those Arcanauts are dead, he's gonna struggle to keep objectives, to hold them.
Yeah, I mean, he can do some interesting things. Like there's a leapfrogging sort of thing he can do. I don't know if that's what he plans to do, where you can sort of move 2 or 3.
Yeah, always do one screen, move everything behind, then the next screen.
Yeah. So there's always
create some roadblocks, especially with his hero phase move. So he throws out the vortex, half moves something, the big threat or some threats, then leave an Arcanaut block, a roadblock there, and then move backwards. And the frigates, they all have their 24-inch shots. 24-inch shots, yeah. And you just have 5 frigates, they can do damage.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shots.
A lot of ships.
A lot of ships to paint. But yeah. And the gyrocopter is just cute.
In a different tournament with different battle plans. This would be great. Part of Valor.
Yeah, for the battle line, because he has 10 battle line.
It'd be interesting to see how they rule this on focal points, because my interpretation is those frigates will not be behemoths.
Yes, they lose the behemoth keyword. Plus, there's 5 of them, and you can only have 4 behemoths anyway.
Yeah, so.
And there was someone who actually commented this and said, "Oh, but because the War Scroll builder doesn't change it," and it said 5 out of 4 behemoths. Someone said, "Oh, this is wrong," and actually, no, it's not wrong because they become battle line, and they use the behemoth keyword.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So in focal points,
be interesting.
Scoring extra points.
Interesting. I don't know how I'd play against this.
Yeah,
because he's 3 drops like me. What do I target? I'll probably target the Arcanauts, to be honest. Maybe shoot down 1 or 2 frigates. I don't know. It's hard. It's a tough one. Or no, if I start, I'm going to shoot the chemist. Honestly.
You're going to shoot the chemist so he doesn't get warp lightning vortex.
Yeah. Although, does warp lightning vortex bother me? Yes, if he puts it on my thunders once they're deployed. But if not, I just fly high out of it. But yeah, I don't know. That's generally a thing. KO mirror match. I've never played against KO. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of gold in that list that you can spend for reroll saves.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I would split shots, which is not what your list is aimed to do. But I would do because he can reroll saves on 1 unit. He can only make 1 unit battle shock immune.
Yeah, true. Battle shock is a problem for him.
They do split shots across all the Arcanauts. Then, most of them are going to end up running away. What's left?
Probably.
Don't kill them all.
And then it's problematic to get points.
It depends on the battle plan as well. I mean, you kind of want to kill the frigates so he loses his ability to move. Because actually, if you kill all of the frigates, then he can't move those Arcanauts around very easily.
I don't know. It's one of those lists where the power projection that he has is evenly distributed to five parts of his army, which is actually pretty cool. So even if he loses one or two frigates, the other three can still do stuff and go places.
And the Arcanauts and the frigates aren't really linked to each other. So, like, you kill one frigate, even if it had a different unit of Arcanauts in it, and it lost its units of Arcanauts, you could pick up a different unit of
he'll do that job with a different one.
Yeah. So there's
interesting.
a lot of redundancy there.
A lot. Yeah. Interesting list.
Deploys where he puts them all in one place in a corner, or whether he spreads them out.
Interesting what he plays against.
Yeah. Because he could sort of have each frigate behind a screen of Arcanauts, but you don't really want to do that because then they can't.
They need to get inside first, move, get out.
But they can't do that because you can't.
You cannot leave the garrison. Yeah.
So you can leave the garrison if they start the turn in the boat, then they can get out after it's moved, but they can't get in and get out in the same turn. So.
I'd say the two frigates without the traits, they'll start without Arcanauts. Those 20 Arcanauts will be a screen.
Yeah.
And the other three will be loaded. Maybe one frigate has the chemist in.
Yeah, I mean, the one with Malefic Skymounts doesn't really make any difference, although it gives you kind of freedom to run that frigate if you want. So
the Omniscope.
No, well, no, the Skymines. Like, you definitely want them in the ones with the Omniscope because that one can move further. You definitely want them in the one with the Prudency shoots because they can survive. And then the Malefic Skymines, you kind of, if you want to, you have the freedom to run because, you lose your shooting from the frigate, but then it can get in range to use the Skymines.
6 inch, yeah. Against a flying unit only, though. So,
but 6 inch, and the Arcanauts can get out further. Like because you auto run 6, so you'll move the frigate 18 inches, then the Arcanauts get out, and 6 inches, you're moving them a long way then.
It's an interesting list. I think Phil would like this. all the frigates.
It's probably a list that a lot of people, maybe not the exact heroes and stuff, but a lot of people have probably gone and written the list with 5 frigates at some point.
Yeah, I've never done it. But I'm not a big Iron Sky Attack Squadron fan so far. It's. I think many people will not know what to do against this list.
Yeah.
Play the objectives as my tip. Let them come to you. I mean, the frigate does damage, but it will not do massive damage. And if they need to take 3 frigates to clear out an objective, and then move on to it in the next turn, then move to the next one, they might not have enough points to catch up.
Yeah, well, the thing is, potentially they can put 50 Arcanauts on one objective, then leave 10 there and move on to the next objective and put 40 Arcanauts on. I don't know. So, yeah. It'll be interesting. This next list from Marius Langben. Is that correct?
Probably not. Sounds correct. Yeah, Marius.
So, continuing the back.
Yeah, I've seen this list at a tournament in Hof, where he came second, I came third place. Free game. This is straightforward. Spark Zilfin, Iron Sky Command, a 2-drop list. Same stuff. Grudge Bearer, Staff Ocular Optimization on the dirigible suit guy, Spell in a Bottle on the Chemist with the Vortex. The Navigator just to fill out the 3rd hero slot in the battalion, and because the Navigator has a good ability. 10 Arcanauts because he needs them, and then he goes all engine riggers. 12 engine riggers, 3 and 3, because he wants those drill launchers. He's the one that got me onto the path of the drill launcher. He said, well, those 4 drill launchers from the 12 guys who can reroll hits if they need with a gold, they do damage at 36 inches.
Yeah.
They will annihilate stuff. Now he has 6 shots. And I think The last unit will probably also have a volley gun. We just cut it off.
No, he didn't his list. So I don't know whether his list had a mistake.
No, if it just doesn't have it, then he doesn't have it, but maybe because he doesn't have the correct model.
Yeah.
Because last time I saw him, he played with like unpainted army, so maybe he's just rushing through painting what he has, and that's what he has. Then the 10 Thunderers in the Ironclad with the last word. Not sure the last word is necessary in this list, because what's going to charge you? If you correctly deploy, maybe some other, the battle ram would be even more, because this is an alpha list. The 12 Enriggers move on from behind and shoot. You always go forward and shoot whatever's stuck in a vortex.
Yeah, and you're going to be getting Thunderers out.
Yeah, the Thunder. Yeah, if he actually needs to.
They're gonna, because I assume he's got rifles because he didn't list anything. But I mean,
yeah, he has rifles. Yeah.
At some point, he can get them out with the chemists and do the whole. Well, there would be -1 ticks on any fumigators, but
yeah. Then the chemist, once he's done his spell, he will just sit on a objective somewhere and cap that, I think, or be a screen for the ship. Depend what he needs to do with it. He's a very good player. I think he's top. He's number 3 in the national ranking in Germany, or number 2. So he's very experienced also with other armies. He knows his stuff. He's from a gaming group in Kassel, Mini Paradise team. He's definitely one to contend tournament win, I think, because he's just a very good player. And the list is good. It's a 2-drop list.
Yeah, it's a 2-drop list with a lot of firepower. He's only
has one ship. So if he gets the Bellacore who says Ironclad, no, it can still fly high, and it can still then shoot.
Yeah,
maybe on a 5+.
The Endriggers are still going to be able to move then, and
the Endriggers will move. The Thunderers will be able to shoot. So
potentially one of the better players.
Strong list, very strong list.
Better calling the Endriggers, maybe the 12th unit. Who knows?
Maybe that makes more sense, because Bellacore doesn't stop the fly high. So
so it stopped their moving, which reduced their threat range by 12.
And they could potentially stop the shooting. Plus all those drill launchers, he will just target heroes with those if necessary.
Yeah.
So he'll throw the vortex on 1 or 2 heroes and then target the other ones. And then if he gets a double turn, he'll shoot off the rest.
Yeah, it's a strong list.
Strong list, 2-drop. So he can decide that going against another KO list. I think it's one of the lowest drop lists in the pack, in the list pack. I think there's some Teench lists with 2 drops, but that's it.
Yeah, this is like there's a lot of different Zilfin lists with Iron Sky Command, and this is sort of one of the ways you can tweak it, because you have a little bit of wiggle room, and you can sort of go. You can play around with your numbers of Endriggers, and you can do things like adding in gun haul or adding in Thunderers, maybe both, depending, or you can go extra on the Arcanauts. But yeah, this is one of the variations. It's a big 12 unit of Endriggers, which is quite potent.
So, 24 wounds on a 4+.
Yeah, they get the gold as well. So lots of shoot from them. Pew pew pew. Let's look at the next one from Moritz Scholz. He has a chemist who is his general with the collector command trait, which means he gets an extra artifact power. He has the spell in the bottle on the chemist as well. You can have one guess at what spell he's using. He has a navigator with the flare pistol. Rounding out the Iron Sky battalion is an Endrin Master of Endrin Harness that has the staff rocket optimization. And then using the extra part of the battalion where you can have 0 to 1, either admirals or broadcasting, he has an admiral with the Runa Mark that is 3 Argonauts, 2 frigates who are battle line because he's Sylphin. One with Beneficent Skymines, one with Magnificent Omniscope. 1 unit of Endriggers, part of the Iron Sky Command Battalion, the Ironclad, with the battle ram. Then he's got 2 battalions. I mentioned the Iron Sky Command before. He also has the attack squadron. So he is as well. And
he has all the artifacts. 4 of them.
Yes, he has the Warp Lightning Vortex. So 2-drop list. Like this, he has bodies. I like the fact that he has an admiral. With the Rune of Mars, the extra gold after killing a hero. I'm not sure about Staff of Optimization on the Entry Master, but I see that's a trend with KO players, like we saw before in the Navigator, and
just stick it somewhere because you need to take it
because you want other artifacts, basically.
Yeah.
He's got the flare pistol, so the flare pistol and the Rune of Mark is a nice combo because you can use the flare pistol, can wipe out a hero, and then you get extra gold afterwards from killing that hero on units that are nearby. There aren't necessarily many units that are going to benefit from that extra gold. Just
boats.
The Ironclad and the frigates, really.
Yeah, boats. Or the free-ended riggers won't do nothing with that. Neither the Arcanauts. So, yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't.
You said he has the bodies. My first impression is he's a bit light on bodies because he has 4 heroes and 3 ships, which is 3 ships are awesome. But the rest is just Arcanauts.
He has bodies, as in pure bodies. He does not have meaningful size units of damage potential. So he has bodies as in pure numbers because Arcanauts are 10-man units, but a 6-man entry rigger unit has far more potential than 10 Arcanauts, even though they're less bodies. Because they're just body. So he can stretch those Arcanauts out, or you can move them around with the frigates using attack squadron. But there's a huge amount of firepower there.
I mean, he can stick everything into the 3 boats and get the 3 enemy riggers around, and so he's very mobile. He can move all his entire army.
He's got a couple of sources of mortal wounds as well, with the battle ram and the sky mines.
On the vortex, yeah.
The fourth hero.
Yeah,
I like the admiral, but the problem with it always is to fit him in. Then you end up you can't fit him in as instead of one of the other heroes in the battalion.
No, he's an extra hero.
So you end up with 4 heroes, and then I think that those extra points means that you're light on a unit somewhere.
And the problem is
points on battalions.
The problem I see is that all these heroes will be stuck in 1 boat.
Yes.
So for the total conquest, he needs to drop them out like a boss that stops at every objective. To drop them out, sprinkle them around.
In the frigate with Magnificent Omniscope, because it's moving faster anyway because of that, and then the admiral can give it run and shoot. So
okay,
he's starting the game with 2 extra CPs as well, and it would be auto running 6. So he could put the admiral in there. Could be,
yeah. I mean, in the end, you want the admiral just sitting on objective with Arcanauts, so you can shrug off wounds and get extra points.
Yeah, well, he's got
I
think this is going to be about positioning the ships turn 1 so that you kill something using the flare pistol. Then you make sure you got to get the positioning right to make sure that the right units get that extra gold. Because you don't want your 3 engine riggers being one of the units that gets the extra gold, because it's the things that are closest. And it's depending what he does, it might end up being Arcanauts because they get out of the ship and charged, and they'll be out ready to charge.
Yeah, or the Ironclad with the battle ram.
Yeah, I mean, if you charge the Ironclad in with the battle ram, then
kills a hero. The Admiral is in the Ironclad. Says, "Oh, more gold for the Ironclad."
Yeah, it depends when you kill the hero, because if you kill it in the shooting phase as opposed to the charge phase.
Mm.
Although, you probably would have moved your Ironclad to 3 inches away or something, depending on screens.
It's interesting. Dave will love this list because it has an Admiral.
There was this list that made me.
It works. It will go. It will do well. It's a solid list. It's 2 drops. Has the vortex. It has the shots from the free boats. It will definitely win against most armies because it just has what KO has is the movement. He has the shots. He has the attack from the vortex. Might be a bit difficult against like the real top armies in the end, but I think there's potential. I don't know Moritz, so I don't know how a seasoned player he is. Maybe he'll win. Who knows? And we'll start painting our admirals.
If you were playing against him, what would you target?
Ooh, difficult. I'd probably try to get rid of the 2 frigates.
Okay. Just because they're easier to target, they're easier to kill than the Ironclad.
They are 2 kills that you can manage. The Ironclad is a bit more difficult.
You can only roll gold.
Yeah, and you want. I mean, I wanna take away his movement because all those bodies and heroes are stuck in his deployment area somewhere or in the middle, just walking around because their ships are gone. I'm happy because my 20 funders, they will hold an objective against those 30 Arcanauts easily. It's the game, the mirror match against KO, as what we discussed last time, is a bit like who's gonna spend his gold first. Are you gonna spend it on saves, or will I spend it on reroll hits, or who's pulling the trigger first? And he has 2 frigates where I have 1 gun horror. I have the Thunderers. He has less drops. He has the Vortex, but again, the Vortex is not such a concern to me, actually. I don't know.
I don't think the Vortex is never going to kill a ship, is it? So
no, it's gonna damage. It might kill the hero inside the ship, though, the navigator. So that's annoying. But just a question of positioning your ship. Keep it in the corner and then put the Arcanauts around, so the Vortex can actually not do it.
So actually, much. You end up with the Vortex only gets 1 of its pillars in range.
Yeah, 1 or maybe 1 on a 4+, and then if he rolls a 6, okay. D6, and then if he rolls a 6 again, okay, then he deserved it. If he managed to roll a 4+, a 6+6+.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations. You deserve to kill my navigator.
Yeah.
That's also a reason why why I moved away from the Vortex, because after 1 or 2 turns, okay, you get a double turn, so you get 3 activations out of it. And then that's it. That's why. Then the rest of the game, it just stands there blitzing, no one.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's 80 points, but there's other cool artifacts too.
It's not 80 points because of what you have to do to get it into your list.
Yeah, you need a battalion. You need a chemist, which you will probably have. It's an artifact slot, and it's 80 points for the spell.
Yeah. If you compare it to the flare pistol, which obviously Morris also has, you get a lot. You can probably get a lot more value out of the flare pistol without.
Only once per game. The flare pistol. Really, it's a lot. It does a lot. But for example, against the 5 frigate list, it's doing much less because I can only target 1 of those frigates with the pistol. Yeah. Unless, what happens if I split my shots? Can actually. I need to look that up.
Isn't it the
If I split my shots, the first shot, I roll at the same time. Both hit.
Well, that's interesting.
Can I then reroll hits against both units?
Discovered some secret tech. Yeah, but the thing is, you're not going to hit one. So.
Well, on the free rerolling ones.
Yeah, well, you spend your
Why
gold.
not?
Is it worth spending your gold to guarantee to get
maybe, but then I don't spend the gold on the funders to reroll wounds.
True.
Or something else. But it's being interesting. I need to read the text, the exact text.
Yeah,
but it could be interesting. I'm onto something here, maybe.
But even Vortex against the 5 frigate list, if he puts those 5 frigates in 5 different places with Archnaut screens.
Yeah, they're not. But if sometimes you have like a big one threat and there is a hero next to it, and so you're gonna probably kill the threat, but you also want to kill the hero. So I've split the shots from navigate. I need to look that up if that's possible.
Yeah,
because that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to do. So you can potentially reroll hits against two units, and then you're definitely going to kill the 2 units instead of just kill one for certain and maybe kill the other one. Yeah, interesting to look up if that works. But it's a gamble. 2 shots on a free plus.
Yeah.
Then you roll 2 2s and
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I like this list. So good luck to him. I think double battalion is nice. Interestingly, the 4 artifacts of power, if he was playing against the new Gargants, it gives him lots of one that.
If he hits that boat where they all stuck in.
Yeah. But there won't be Gargants at this tournament. So
not on this one. Maybe Aelgoza Gargants.
Yeah, I did. I accidentally went twice then. So the next list is from Oliver Sahan. He has an Endromaster with dirigible suit, Grudge Bearer, stuff optimization, the Chemist, Spell in the Bottle, Warp Lightning Vortex, obviously. 6 Endrinriggers with 1 grapnel launcher, 2 units of 3 Sky Ones, both have got 1 grapnel launcher and 1 volley gun. 10 Thunderers with rifles and 2 fumigators, 3 gun haulers, all with drill cannons. One has the Death Settler Spar Torpedo, one has Colby's compartments, and the other one doesn't get an artifact. And then he has an Ironclad with the volley cannon and the last word, and the Grunstock Escort Wing.
Cool. Cool list. I like it. You can see what he's planning to do with it. And it's those drill cannons on the gun haulers. There's 3 of them on a 5+ in the battalion. They can potentially reroll 1s against the unit. They can do some damage. And at the long range, what is it? 30 inches? 36 plus 12-inch move. 48 across the board.
High. 36 inches.
Yeah, they fly high. Yeah, but still staying safe behind somewhere and just shooting across the board. Drills. I like it. 12 Thunderers. Okay, you lose a couple of shots for the fumigators, but it's a thing. He's gonna shoot them with the Ironclad. Fly them around, shoot stuff, and then drop them and have 2 fumigators there, plus potentially the Chemist. So -3 to be hit.
What I don't understand about this list, and I think it's purely a utility thing why he's put it in, is because you kind of want the Chemist in the same ship as the Thunderers, because he's got the fumigators, so he almost get the Chemist. You want to get the Thunderers out of the ship.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter because he's mostly rifles, but you want bodies on objectives.
So he's going to put him in the Ironclad, and you don't know why he has the compartments?
Yes, well, I'm assuming it's utility, so if there isn't a space that you can drop the Ironclad down for perfect
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, I think. Because with terrain, you need to stay 1 inch away, and it's much easier to drop in a gunholder than an ironclad base.
Yeah. Because it's not a big deal if he doesn't have the chemist with the Thunderers, or if he doesn't get the Thunderers out turn 1. I mean, he could keep the Thunderers into turn 4 or something if he needs to, because they're actually rifles.
But it's a bit low on bodies, this one. He has the 10 Thunderers, and
10
then some Sky Wardens, which are just, they're going to tag a unit with the grapnel launchers, say, no retreat, you're stuck with me. You need to fight through those 6 Sky Wardens.
Yeah, he's really
potentially the 6 Ending Riggers too.
Messing with movement, because...
Messing with movement, like holding them down on their end, shooting them with the gun holders, and the ironclad, if someone charges the ironclad, it's going to get shot by the volley cannon. And the Thunders are sitting on an objective later turns.
Yeah, it's going to struggle with bodies in the sense that a lot of the bodies it's got, like the Sky Wardens and the Ending Riggers, are actually going to die because of the way he looks like he wants to use them to stop retreats. So he wants to tag units, and
that's the problem. If they tag a unit, they're going to get hit. And probably die. Depending what they hit.
I like using the Sky Wardens and Ending Riggers for that purpose, but I feel like then you need other units. I mean, he has got 10 Thunderers, so they're a unit.
I like the free gun holders. They'll do damage, they'll steal objectives, they jump around, they mess with people's deployment, they mess with their movement because they want to screen all around. And they will all the time just shoot. Their drill cannons.
Yeah, so I see he's 1, 2, 3, 4 drops.
Yep.
It's the Sky Wardens in the battalion as well, so they'll be getting the reroll ones to hit potentially.
How many Sky Wardens is it in a battalion though? 0 to 3, or is it just 1?
1 to 3. We'll say 0 to 3.
0 to 3.
Oh. Yeah, 0 to 3, and just 1 unit of Thunders.
And the Ending Riggers would stick with the ironclad and repair it.
Yeah, with probably Endrin Master.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
It's interesting. They're all Zilfin lists, but they work differently.
It's the only one with the escort wing. I think I prefer the Iron Sky Command. Get lower drops with it, and it's cheaper. Gives you the units you want. I mean, it does give you access to multiple ships in a battalion.
But so does the attack squadron.
Yeah, it gives you access to multiple ships where one of them is the Ironclad.
But and you want an Ironclad because Ironclads are just awesome.
I was discussing earlier on Discord with someone about how it's important. No, not necessarily important, but how it's nice to have a behemoth in your list. And if you're going Zilfin, then having a frigate in your list isn't having a behemoth in your list, because it's not. And just the potential, especially if you know you're going to be playing focal points.
Yeah, because the Ironclad can actually tag 2 objectives.
Yeah.
So get 2 extra points because the base is big enough to touch both.
Yeah.
You can only control one or hold one, but it can score 2 extra points.
You can fly high with the Sky Wardens, and they can land on one, and the other unit can land on another. And then you've got 2 objectives, and you're scoring 4 points.
4 points plus 1 is the middle, so 5 points.
Yeah, because you can't do it on 2 outside objectives. The Ironclad it has to be the middle one.
Yeah, it's not long enough. Yeah, we cannot do on that. But it has the middle plus 1 of the outsides. Yep.
Unless a Gargan kicks it somewhere.
Exactly. Then maybe you can stick it on 3, like kick the low one towards the other 2, and then stick the Ironclad. If you know what battle plan is going to be played, you can do some interesting stuff.
But I like the fact he's got 3. It's just low on bodies, isn't it? He's going to hold the Ending Riggers back for a while, until he can then charge them into something, because the Sky Wardens are going to almost be sacrificed turn 1, I think.
Once he deployed the vortex, they're gonna just tag people, maybe tag them to make them stay in the vortex, or
You can do an interesting thing where you tag someone's screen. If someone has a screen in front of their whole army, you put one unit of Sky Wardens at one end, one unit at the other end, and they can't pile in because they got to go in 2 different directions. They're stretched out in a line, and then they can't retreat because of the grapnel launchers, and then that one screen holds the whole army back inside the vortex.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 6 Sky Wardens.
Yeah, but
they will die to a cough.
Yeah, but if you tagged either end of the screen and then they can't pile in on you, then it's just whether something else. If you bring something else into combat.
Yeah, but that's generally KO. It's a tech army. It's a lot of these little things and movements and tagging, because we don't have the bodies to hold objectives. We don't have the means to beat someone in melee, so it's shooting and then just tagging and holding down and blocking movement and jumping around. And
his plan is to get gun haulers onto objectives, and I think he will try and on certain opponents just hold them in their deployment zone.
Yeah, hold them, shoot them while they're in the vortex.
Yeah.
Deploy the Thunderers behind, so they can keep on shooting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they charge the Ironclad, then
as a screen,
they get shot and counter-charged by the engine triggers.
Yeah, because the Thunderers can deploy out as a screen, so you tag their screen, and then the Thunderers are out behind. So when they do finally kill the Sky Wardens and start moving out of their deployment zone, then there's a wall of Thunderers had to go through as well, which are -2 to hit potentially, or -1 because they're going to
-1 because if they're strung out, yeah.
And then all the time you're being shot by drill cannons.
Drill cannons on the Ironclad, yeah. It can do work. I mean, all these KO lists can do work. I would say all of them can go minimum 3 wins.
Yeah.
I hope mine can. But I think, definitely.
You will finally trigger someone on this list into a breakdown. So they finally get out of their deployment zone, and then they charge the Ironclad and get shot.
Get shot at with last word, and then counter-charged by the engine riggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that can just punch through this, but
yeah, that's the trouble.
Like fire sale lists, you were gonna pepper those heroes with gun haulers all day long. Yeah. Keep shooting them. Then if they charge you, I mean, even if you shoot them
out of the vortex.
Yeah, put the vortex on the fire slayers. They can't run. Shoot the heroes, and then hope that you score enough points until they get to you.
Are there any fire slayers at this tournament?
Yes, I think four of them. Okay. I know one guy, Mohammed. He also joined our tournament in Munich. He's coming with his fire slayer list. There's one who has 60 Hearthguard Berserkers. So fun list. Yeah. Not sure for whom, but fun. I approve.
Fun for him.
Definitely. Those guys, when you roll those dice, fun, big fun. I like it. Yeah. There's a few. I mean, apart from KO, which are a little peak, there are nine lists. Actually, let me look at this. I have the file open. So in total, there are currently 9 Kharadron, so almost 10%, roughly 10%. We have 7 cities of Sigmar, which are quite different from each other. We have the Hammerhall Lancers, we have the Pistoliers in Tempest Eye, we have one with 60 Phoenix Guard, so there's plenty of stuff there, all quite different. We have 7 Seraphon list, but no Croak and the Sallies. Mostly of them, they have 40 Skinks or more. There's one list with Bastillodons and the big dinos and stuff. Most of them have Crook, I think.
Is the one with the Basiladons and the Big Dinos coalesced, or are they all?
I think that's the Coalesced and the Thunder Lizard one, where they get even better, the big dinos. Then we have 6 Ogre more tribes. We have 6 Slaves to Darkness, 5 Fire Slaves actually, 5 Stormcast Eternals. Of those, one is the 1-drop Shootcast, and the others I haven't looked at in detail, but there's also some old school Stormcast lists there. I think there's one Gav Bomb there too.
There's some variations on the Shootcast list as well, because not everyone's running the 3 battalions.
Yeah.
Shooting, but they're not doing all 3 battalions with the 1-drop.
Then we have 5 Zinch. I think 4 of those are your Change Host Flamer teleporting Flamers list. And one is from Tobias, who commented earlier, who's playing an interesting list with Archeon, Bellacore, Screamers, and 2 units of 10 pinks, and the Blue Scribes, and nasty endless spells. So interesting list. We have 4 Idol of Deepkin. I think 3 of those are all the eels that you can find, that you can buy for money, and one is a bit more mixed list.
Any more IDNF players is because you can't get any more eels in Germany because they pop.
Yeah, there's one with a lot of thralls. Maybe he didn't get any eels to buy.
All the other players bought all of the ones.
I mean, there's one guy, Charlie from my club. He's bringing Volturnus, 1 Tidecaster, and the rest is MSU eels, just the offensive eels. That's it. I think it's 28 eels. Okay. No judgment here. We have 4 Slaanesh. That's cool. We have 3 Luminef lists actually.
So other than KO, most things are in sort of the 3 to 5 or 3 to 6.
Yeah, between, and then there's a few like unicorns, like Beasts of Chaos, 1 list, Big Wa, 1 list, Daughters of Cain. There's 1 Death main faction. There's 1 Grand Host of Nagash, 1 Iron Jaws, and 1 Legion of Chaos Ascendant, which is also a nasty one. That one.
Yeah.
Special shout out goes to the 3 people bringing Sylvaneth, and the 2 people bringing Bone Splitters. Awesome.
Yeah. That one person with Beast of Chaos as well, unless he's just got 200 wounds.
He's got, I can tell you, he's a top list. He's got 171 wounds.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
A lot of Ungors and Gores. Plus, he can summon more. So.
Yeah, he's
cool.
Just crowd people out with bodies. Just keep lots of bodies.
There's interesting lists: Savage Orcs and Shooty Orcs and Phoenix Guards and weird lists that I don't understand. I think it'd be cool. We have 1. That's actually a quite cool Hollow Heart list, but with all the Black Ark Corsairs, like 80 of them, and Dark Shards and the Fleet Master. So there's some cool stuff there.
Cool.
So yeah, if you're interested, lists are online on the GTC 2020 homepage. You have a cool homepage with all the info. If you actually want to join last minute, just contact them. They're very helpful. They have all the lists there. The rules pack is available. They have a Corona, COVID information leaflet, how to find them. Everything's taken care of. Very professional tournament.
Cool. So yeah, it sounds like basically KO are the outlier, as it they basically pretty much double the number that most other factions will. So twice as like play KO as you are any other faction.
Probably, yeah. I think you'd probably face a Seraph 100 KO list somewhere along the tournament.
Yeah. And then after, assuming the KO players will do well turn 1, and you if you're another player and you win turn 1, then you've got a very good chance.
Yeah, there's a 1 in 5 chance to play a KO in the second round, I think.
Yeah. So this next list from Practic Thorin, I think there might actually be a mistake.
Oh, there's another one. I thought we were done. Sorry.
I think there's 2 more. I think there's
2 more. Okay.
Yeah, 2 more. This one, I think there's a mistake on because he has Endrin Master of Endrin Harness as his general, and this is where I got Master Commander from, and I think that's why I copied it from your list. But Master Commander is the Zilfin
Admiral. It's the Admiral trait.
Yeah, can only go on an Admiral. So have you still got the list up there?
Let me check the original list. Where are all these KO lists? Where are they?
While you're just looking, I'll just read out the rest. So he also has a Chemist with emergency vent plates, Navigator with Flare Pistol, 2 units of 10 Arcanauts, 3 Engine Riggers, which...
this is Patrick, you said? Yes, his list has the Master Commander trait on the Engine Master.
Yeah, which you can't actually have.
Okay, that's an error. That's annoying because you'll get a point deduction for this probably. Because I don't know how wrong it is. He just can't have it. But
yeah.
Okay, and then he has 1, 2, 3 artifacts, but only 2 battalions. Okay.
So yeah, and then he also has a frigate, which is also battle line with Magnificent Omniscope, 10 Thunderers, all with rifles, I'm assuming. 2 gun haulers, 1 with the Spar Torpedo, and 1 with the Surge Injection Engine, which isn't unusual. Basically, that gives you D3 extra move once. Is it once per battle? Once per battle, or you can make it 2d3. But if you do that and you roll a double, then you suffer 1 mortal wound, which is not too bad. Double check to see if it's once per battle. No, it's not. It's just whenever you make a move, a normal move. So yeah, and then he has an Ironclad with the battle ram, and his battalions are Iron Sky Command, Escort Wing. We'll talk about the engine a bit because I think that's an unusual pick. I think in Zilfin that is going to give that gun hauler a very very high potential in movement, because obviously the gun haulers can already move an extra 6 inches once per game if they need to, and then if you're adding on 2d3 to that as well, and then if it can potentially run 6 inches, so is it 12
Fast
base?
one.
It's 12 base, isn't it? So that's 12. 6 is 18 plus 2d3 plus another 6. So it's 24 to 26 minimum.
He can that gunner is going places, yeah.
Charge, but if he didn't do the run, then it would still be 20 minimum, plus a charge. Which
is okay, but then you don't have the Spar Torpedo on that one, so why would you want to charge? Well, I mean, D3 mortals on a 4+, and then 4 attacks on a 4+4+.
This gun hauler is going to catch someone out if they leave if they think they've zoned off an objective. They think, I'll move in 3 inches to the center of the objective, so you can't fly high onto it. And then you go, well, no, I can't fly high onto it, but this gun hauler can move 26 inches. I've done similar things myself with gun haulers, just with the with the normal once per game 6-inch move. You add an extra 2d3 onto that, and potentially a run. It's interesting. He's also soon gone for movement a bit with his frigate. I mean, the engine works on frigates aren't great, so there's not many to choose from, really, is there? But he's got 4 engine works because of 2 battalions and being Zilfin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like templates. Do you know if there's been a ruling for templates from the TO?
I have not heard any, but I assume it's just until the end of the phase. Anything else is just obnoxious. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, if they then will add up throughout the games, each game that you play, you get another minus to it, or what? I mean, no.
It's silly, isn't it? But I mean, that's if he's going to probably likely play against KO, so being -1 to hit will help.
For one round, yeah, awesome.
And there's the flare pistol. We talked about it on the other list. It's good. So he'll survive if because he is 2 drops. I'm assuming. No.
The
3.
chemist.
Because all the heroes are in the Iron Sky Command.
One Arcanaut company is not anywhere.
3 drops.
3 and Defender. No, Defenders are in the escort wing. 3 drops.
So
1, 2,
he's going to be re-rolling 1s to hit a lot because everything in the escort will get it. Everything in Zilfin, which is obviously his whole army, will be doing it against flying units. So
no, only the boats, not everything.
Sorry, yeah. Oh yeah, they changed that, didn't they?
That'd be awesome if everything would.
No, it used to be everything.
Was it? Okay. I never played the old book. So.
And the old book was hit and wound.
Okay.
Nice. And bit one hit and wound for everything in your army that flies. Against stuff that flies. Again, this is one that's maybe a little light on bodies. Oh,
I mean, aren't all KO lists somehow light on bodies?
I mean,
it's not that I have more bodies.
We compare it to the one with 50 armor, so
yeah, okay, that one, but that's an outlier for KO.
The 2 we've really mentioned it on are the ones where people go for double battalions. Although actually, one with the attack squadron, maybe not so much. But
I mean, the FIA engine riggers, they're just there because he needs them for the battalion. Yeah. They're not going to do much. The Arcanaut's going to screen or sit on back objectives, and then the boats will go to town with the Thunderers and shoot stuff up.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it. And then he has theoretically 1 gun hauler for each bigger boat to shrug off wounds. Does that also work on the frigate? I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Just doesn't work on upper gun haulers.
So, yeah. Thunderers in the frigate probably to make it comparable in output to the Ironclad. So you have two groups that you can move around with a gun hauler each, maybe, and then just shoot stuff.
Yeah. The extra unit of Arcanauts means that he can have 1 in the frigate or the Ironclad, depending where the Thunderers are, and then still have a screen.
Yep.
In the first turns. So
yeah, actually, you can go somewhere, drop them off, and then if he gets a double turn, move on. It's not a bad list. I like it. 2 gunner's, an Ironclad, and a frigate. That's something I've played around with too, but I'm not sure I would have done it with 2 battalions. Yeah. Maybe lose 1 battalion and get some more engine riggers.
Yeah. Yeah, Tiziano in the chat says only 3 engine riggers, ? I think engine riggers are underrated. Sad face.
Groups of 12 can definitely do stuff. Give him a skyhook so they get +1 to charge. It's a lot of points, though. That's 400 points of engine riggers.
They don't stay around for long afterwards, do they? So
they die quite quickly. Actually, they are a 4+ save, so which often becomes a 5+ if people bring Ren. 2 wounds each. Okay, no.
I mean,
someone calls it 6 wounds, that your engine rigger's gone.
It's a problem in the old book of they were a glass cannon, and now they're a glass cannon with less output because you don't have the old chemist buff.
Yeah, for the extra sword attack. Plus, they cannot do that zip around with the hook grapnel movement.
Yeah, I mean you get your movement from the ships now, which makes sense.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean he's got mortal wound output from the Ironclad and the Gun Hauler, so if he doesn't have much in terms of melee output because he's only got that 1 unit of 3 engine riggers, but he can charge the Ironclad and the Gun Hauler in if he needs to. And then
drop the bombs from all the ships.
Yeah, he'll do his impact in the charge phase and drop bombs. Yeah, and he's not got a huge amount of bodies, but he can move the 2 of the units around, so that does help.
But then it's always the move around, get off the boat, get in the boat, that loses you an entire turn where you're not scoring because they don't score in the boat. But,
yeah, one of them.
I mean, yeah, still, it's not a bad list. I've not seen a bad KO list here yet. So they're all.
Can you make a bad KO list at the moment?
Yes. Definitely sure there's some Barak Nar nonsense with Brock.
Actually, I just joke earlier. It was actually to compare because we were talking. Me and my mates were talking about the prices of Gargants, and I said, and they were saying, "Oh, it's like £500 if you buy this." And I said, "Well, if I've had 2 heroes and or something like 20 units of Arkanauts, and that would be £600." Well, yeah, that would be a bad list. You have a lot of bodies. Yeah, but I think if you're being people, you can tweak things around, but once you start putting in a few different ships and then a few different heroes, and then tweaking around between Thunderers and Arkanauts and
riggers, yeah.
I don't. As long as you've got a couple of different ships and you are putting in some sorts of synergies with your artifacts and stuff, yeah, you will end up with a list that's going to be able to perform.
Yeah, so you bring an Ironclad and some sort of overshooting, you'll be fine. Yeah. Once you come around with just a gun holder and all Arkanauts on foot and maybe Thunderers on foot and I don't know what. Yeah. I mean, you can build body lists like 2 units of 10 Thunderers, a lot of Arkanauts, and then just walk to the battlefield. It works.
Yeah.
You're not going to get there, but you can.
I think most of the lists that you see as well are symptoms of what people want to play with KO. It's the reason you don't see a huge number of Barrack Fring lists with lots of Fire Slayers, because people just want to play. People want to play boats. That's why you get into the army, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to play the cool steampunk stuff, but I think there's some gas in Barrack Fring.
Yeah,
I still need to figure it out. I'm saying this since a year now. No, there's some secret tech in that thing. People have not discovered it yet, but I mean, I played a game with them with Fring, and it does what it's supposed to do. 3 ships, a lot of Fire Slayers.
Yeah,
does damage.
Do you think that command trait is meant to be great? Oh no, I thought it was called Master Tinkerer. It's not called Great Tinkerer. It says he's picked the wrong master, but it's not as good of a name as Master Tinkerer. Oh well.
No, I think he just selected the one because it is the one for Delphin, but it actually can only go on Admiral. So that's you probably need to correct that.
Above it or below it on the drop-down list in War Scroll Builder, possibly. Like you just accidentally click the one above or below.
No, that's the thing. That often happens because the Grudge Bearer is available for the Admiral. So that's a bit weird. I always go down to select the one for. Even the Chemist has a Grudge Bearer, so I always try to click the one for the Enrimas, but I don't know if it does any difference if you select the one for the Admiral. Because it just says the text Grudge Bearer, it doesn't say anything else.
I didn't actually realise it was on there more than once. I mean, I always do it on my phone. It's just a pain you scroll through because on your phone it's like very small.
20 of them.
There's loads of them. You can only see a couple of them, and you just they just spin through. So let's look at the last list from Weevil.
Finally, Timo, you waited that long. Is he still in the chat? I don't know. Maybe he went to bed by the time we got here.
2 hours. If you are in the chat, let us know. And would be nice about your list. And if you're not in the chat, we'll be horrible about it. No, we won't. So it's an Iron Sky Command list. It's
I like this.
Engine Master with Dirigible Suit, General with Great Tinkerer, which is one that gives him 2 extra shots, Staff of Ocular Optimization, a Chemist with Spell in the Bottle, a Navigator, 10 Arkanauts, 3 units of 6 Engine Riggers, 2 of which have got 2 volley guns and 2 drill launchers, and then he's got 2 gun haulers in the same setup as the previous list. So I don't know if they know each other potentially. Or one of them's taught the other one the tactic, because it's not something I've seen people doing before. And then all of a sudden I saw 2 lists in the same tournament. And then he has, so one of them has the Spar Torpedo, one has the Surge Injection we mentioned. And then he has an Ironclad with the Great Sky Cannon Last Word, and Iron Sky Command, and Warp Lightning Vortex. So this is more along the lines of a typical Zilfin list, except for the extra gun hauler, probably.
So this is something that is now possible with the points drops. Something I also played around. It is having 3 units of 6 engine riggers. I'd go for like the classic alpha strike, shoot and combat. Would be 2 units of melee riggers with maybe a skyhook, and the other one the gun unit. You have 2 gun haulers to bring everyone in. You always have the teams, a boat, and 6 engine riggers to jump around. Yeah.
I mean, this
can work. Maybe you struggle a bit with the output here.
Well, it's going to play, if you compare it back to the list we looked at earlier with the 12 engine riggers, the 2 units of 6 are going to play in a similar way, except for the fact he's not getting the gold.
But you can hitch them.
He can hitch them around the gun haulers or the ironclad, so they're going to have more choice of targets. 10 Arkanauts screen.
I wonder why people are not bringing the Skypike. Or are you just cutting it off each time?
There was one person, and I can't remember which player it was. There was one person that had omitted it intentionally. There's one person where it only took skyhooks, and then another player that had the light skyhook and the volley gun. There's a lot of people taking one of each. I could have accidentally copied and pasted it from a different one. For Teamers, I'm not sure. But, it's one of those things. It doesn't make any difference really on the Arkanauts anyway, does it?
Nah. I mean, the pikes, okay, if someone charges them, actually, the pike's probably the one that's going to do damage.
Yeah. I actually do, if they end up in combat, I normally do leave the pike in rather than, depending on what I have to take out. And where, if I want to take out which end of the unit or whatever in the middle, then I will normally try and leave the pike in rather than hit with the gun butts.
Comster agrees that a skyhook and 5 saws is a good setup for engine riggers. If you want to send them in,
so I can actually read the chat.
You can send them in and do some nasty chopping up. Yeah. The only issue with this, deploy the vortex, everything's in your face. You send them in and shoot and chop off. You're gonna run into your own vortex. I used to play this, and often, it doesn't matter because it goes off at the end of the movement. So when you charge in to do the killing blow to someone, okay, but often it's like it's in your way and it will kill you.
Yeah, well, we said engine riggers are glass cannons anyway, so does it matter?
Yeah, but then for 200 points, it's an expensive glass cannon. Only one of those will fight first. One of those will get hit first before it fights. If you send multiple in.
The only one that's going to be going into combat is the one with the swords and pistols, turn 1 anyway. The other one's going to be staying back with they might not even be flying high anywhere near the ironclad because they can hit through the gun hauler.
But then they're 9 inches away and they don't have a hook, so they need to roll a 9. They want to go with the ironclad, which moves then away from the vortex and closer.
And the ones with the guns is the ones So the ones with the guns will be away somewhere else. And then the other 6 will run into the vortex, but it's only one hit. So they're just going to finish off anything that doesn't die from the vortex or shooting. It comes to saying that the Demon Rift was great for him recently.
It is an awesome stuff against Lumina 15 lists.
Took out,
but against other stuff, it's hard.
I can't imagine it being that
against some armies. Some armies with Darkfire would just do FD3 mortal wounds, and the vortex has such a big area. It's a 24-inch, almost 24-inch area. Will just negate running and flying, and will do some mortal wounds. You need to see it more as a movement debuff rather than as a damage thing. The damage is nice; it's a nice extra.
Yeah, because the damage isn't guaranteed either. It's on a 4+.
It's okay. If someone's in the middle, he'll get two or even 3 times if you get a double turn, 3 times the D3 mortals, so 6 mortals maybe on average. Okay, cool. I'll take it. But it's the no run, no fly zone. Whereas the Demon Rift is a damage thing against magic or endless spell heavy lists. But 50% of the time you play as someone that has no casting or another KO. So you're gonna do D3 to everyone inside the ship and the ship. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit. It's 80 points that when it works good, but the rest of the time doesn't do much, or 80 points that will consistently do stuff. Or you get a Realm Scourge Rupture, which is 20 points less and blocks movement reliably, halves movement. Or you get 20 funders.
I really like the Demon Rift before it went up in points. When it was 50 points before, there was... that was when I was like, oh yeah, that's Demon Rift, and then the GTP come out. And Warp Lightning Vortex went down and it went up. And
but it's interchangeable. It's nice because you can have the same list and then swap the vortex if you're feeling you're encountering a meta with a lot of magic. And you don't need to change much on the rest of the list. But this list, it's solid. It will do what it's supposed to do. It's hard to say anything bad about these lists. They're all good KO lists. They will all work. It will come down to, do the people steering these armies know their opponent's armies? Do they know which targets to pick? How their enemy armies work? What are the key pieces they need to remove? because they don't have enough damage output to remove the entire army. Just like one round and your army's gone. And they are low on bodies or controlling objectives, so they need to figure out who to shoot, what to shoot in order to win. But if they can do that, I see at least one KO in the top 3.
I mean, with the sheer number of KO lists in this tournament,
yeah, statistically, there should be a couple in the top 10, maybe 2 or 3 in the top 10. It depends. Maybe people have trained and are prepped for KO, and they know exactly what to target.
With the amount of KO lists in the tournament and the fact that the lists have been published beforehand, if someone hasn't prepped doesn't know what KO does, then
now you know, because we talked about it for 2.5 hours.
Well, if someone goes to this tournament and doesn't know what KO does, even though there's 9 lists going and they haven't bothered to check, then that's their own fault, I think.
You're in for a surprise, well, I was surprised. I was surprised about the number of KO lists. I was still feeling being a special, colorful snowflake. I'm the only KO player. Usually I go to tournaments. I'm the only one there. First round I play someone who has never seen a KO ship, who has no idea what it does. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Move on. Next round. And now you go to a tournament like most used, and people will know what to expect and know how to play against you. And what troubles me most is the mirror match. Like, okay, now I need to play against KO. What do I do now? How do I play this? Will be interesting.
Yeah.
I fear that I'll definitely have to play against one KO list.
I would be surprised if you didn't play twice. Maybe even. I mean, this is the thing is, the closer you get to the end of the tournament, if there's a couple of different KO players or 3 or 4 potentially doing well, then the more you get towards the end of the tournament, the more chance there is of having a mirror match. And then it could be that there aren't many KO players in the top 3 or top 5 or whatever, because they actually push each other out because they end up playing each other.
Could be. It could be so you don't need to win too high your first round, so you go like under the radar for the first couple of turns. That's something I'm very good at, like winning by 2 points or 3 points. So I just get like easier matchups.
I just want to say to Ecom6, I'm assuming he's joined the video a bit later on. But he said that his perspective on the track was mostly about damage, and he hasn't thought about the movement much. If you go back at later, once we finish and watch the beginning, you'll hear Max talk about why he doesn't like Vortex. If you want to get Max's other perspective on it, you've heard his positives, and you can go back and watch the negatives.
So I like it. I don't like it.
Yeah,
there's one for everyone in here.
That was the last list. So we talk about more.
Great.
He said he's going to out. Other than picking yourself, do you think there's one that's going to do better than the others, or do you think it's just too hard?
I'm not sure mine's going to do as well, because all the damage is in 1 or like 2 units. It's one center of power projection, whereas some of these lists, they have multiple, and they will do better, I think, because that's what KO does well. It's I can apply the power where I want it, where I need it to be. I can deploy my shooting where it needs to be. So people playing that strength, I'm not sure my list does. My list can deal with those 20, 40 Phoenix Guard, it can deal with an Archaeon, it can deal with the big blocks of Hearth Guard. It's matchup dependent, I think. I'm sure Mario's list will do good, because it's a good list, the one with the 12 Endrin Riggers and Drill Cannons, and because I know that he's a good player.
Yeah. A lot of it is going to be matchup, and not just matchup, but matchup and battle plan. So if you get the right matchup on the right battle plan, and then how experienced these players are with their lists as well, because
if they get the 50 eels list or not.
Come up against and we'll see. I'd be interested to see how the 5 frigate list does. Might give me an incentive to paint more frigates. Get them out of the box.
So the results, I think they will track it on tourneykeeper. .net, I think it is. Is it net? Check it out. It's tourneykeeper.net. Yes. It's also linked on the homepage of the event, and I believe they will then upload there the pairings and the results.
Okay.
Not necessarily the lists, but you can find out names and lists.
And it's next weekend, isn't it?
It is next Saturday. I think first match is at 9 o'clock. The rounds will have a duration of 3.5 hours, which is rather long. But this includes, setup, auxiliaries, and result submission.
Right.
So figuring out points and then actually handing in the sheet and stuff. So it's okay. It's good.
Still a long.
Yeah, I think the last match will end at like 8:30 or 8 in the afternoon on Saturday. So it's a long day.
So are they going to call time now on the rounds before that? I assume they must do if it's including time for submitting results and.
Yeah. They will have all the times up, and there'll probably be some sort of reminder or timer or anything. And they said, well, for every minute that you hand in your cheat late, you get points deduction. So they're quite strict on the rules, but I prefer it this way. So after 3 hours, you can say, okay, we have another half an hour, and we're only in round 2. Okay, well, how are we going to handle this? And I like to then say, okay, either we play out the next round and then quit there, or figure out how much points who would have scored, presumably, and then just agree on an outcome.
Yeah. It's going to that's going to be quite good for KO having the extra time. I think not necessarily because KO plays slowly, but you quite often do need to go to turn 4 or 5 just to score
to get your points. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the time, you don't actually need to do that if you killed your opponent, because you can just say, well, I would move here and I would move there.
I will grab this, and this, and next round another time this, and this, and I'll get another 10 points, and that's it.
But quite often you'll be behind on points and trying to catch up, so extra time will be good.
Plus all those Warp Lightning Vortexes, they need the time to set up exactly 7 inches away. That's half an hour there, right there. Make yourself some handy tool. I've seen someone who just took three bases, 40mm bases, and then glued them on like cardboard strips exactly 7 inches away.
Yeah.
Put it down. It works. And for your ships, do some cardboard cutouts for the bases. So before you pick up the boat and move it, just lay it down. Can I actually fit it here? Can I move here?
Yeah, and then you move the boat. The position of where it was before.
Exactly. Just makes stuff quicker, makes it easier. I'll try to take some pictures while I'm there. Probably post some results during the tournament in the WhatsApp chat. And if I lost all my first 3 games, then I'll just get drunk on Sunday.
It'll be blurry pictures.
It's like no more infos. I'm starting to lose when there's no more interest from my side. Yeah.
Well, if you're anything like me, like first deployment pictures, first turn, and then the more I get into the game, the less I take pictures because I'm just concentrating on the game.
That too. And then if I start losing games, then but that's what I'm saying. I want to win 3 games, so have a positive win-loss ratio, 3-2, and everything else is bonus. That's it. That's what I'm planning. It's my first big tournament, so.
Cool. Well, I think we covered everything. So
thank
thank you very much for coming on, talking about all these lists.
Thanks for having me, and hope people enjoyed it. Or when you watch it back, leave a comment. Make sure to, if you have the time, if you want to, contact the organizers. They're super helpful. They'll try to figure out a way for you to join without any penalties for, late list submission and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. And if you like the show, then hit the like button.
Click it now. Do it.
Yeah, do it. If you want to talk to us about anything, leave some comments. And hit subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.
Topics for the future, leave a comment.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.